Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Living the Midlife Dream with me, Danielle Mauger. You guys, guess what? I'm a grandmother. Yes, my little sweet grandson was just born just under 2 weeks ago, and we are absolutely head over heels in love with him. He is just beyond, I can't even handle it. I'm obsessed. I love holding him and whispering in his ear to let him know that I am his new best friend. And he hasn't protested. I think he's excited about it. But I wanted to come on here today and talk about a little bit about this because the past week and a half, I felt like a little, I don't know what the word to use, torn doesn't seem to describe it. But what I'm trying to talk about, like it's like been a little shift. And I wanted to talk about it because it's not just about becoming a grandmother. It's about remembering who I've always been and who I still want to become. And I was struggling with that for a second. And I'll get into that. But I'm sharing it because you might be feeling the same way. Even if you aren't a grandparent, this same feeling could apply to you in this season of life, midlife, and all of the changes that come with it. So I want to get into that. But first, I just want to say, like, to see your child become a parent is mind blowing. I mean, I was 18 when I had Kyle, and Kevin and I grew up really fast. But if you asked me when I was a kid what I wanted to be, I would always just say, I want to be a mom when I grow up. And my wish came true really early, but I absolutely loved it. I thrived. I was always a stay at home mom. Literally, I would do things on the side, but for the most part, like my main quote unquote job, and I don't know why I just said quote unquote because it is a job. My main job was I was a stay at home mom from like the age of 18 until no, probably still now at 51. Can I consider myself a stay at home mom now? I don't know. But anyway, I just felt like I was made to be a mom. It's my instincts. And now I'm just starting to feel it all over again. And the moment that I met my grandson, my gut reaction was, all right, I'm going to drop everything. I'm going to quit all the stuff that I'm doing. I'm going to go just back into full-time nurturer mode. I'm just going to be a mom again. But this time I'm going to be like the absolute greatest grandma. And it's just what my natural instinct was to do that. And I don't think it's that surprising just because it's what I've always done. I've been doing this. I had a long talk with Kevin the other day about this and I said, I've been doing this mom business since I was 18 years old and I'm 51. So it's just like I go back to it. It's like it gives me purpose. I love being a mom. I love doing everything for everyone. I love to show up. I love these people so much. I mean, I know that I'm not special in this way. A lot of mothers are built this way. A lot of women feel this exact same way. But here's where it got like a little complicated because, there's a part of me that's been working really hard on things. I'm trying to build something, if I'm being honest. First of all, I'm lifting weights. I'm creating content all the time, whether that sounds cringy or not. That's what I'm doing. I am personal coaching, personal training, women, one on one coaching. I am building a business because I haven't really truly announced this, but I'm working on a fitness app and it should be ready by the end of the summer. And so I've been building and really working on all this, plus this podcast. So, I'm chasing some dreams here. That part of me said, wait 1 second, we can't just drop everything. We're just getting started. You finally just remembered that you had dreams of your own. So it's like, I'm so torn. And I feel like that tension between who I've always been and who I'm becoming is real. And if I'm being totally honest, I was upset a lot of last week. I was struggling. So I just want to say, if you've ever felt like stepping back into a familiar role like this because it's safe or it's easy, or, if you've ever felt guilty for wanting more while still being grateful, of course, I'm extremely, extremely grateful for this life that I'm living and these amazing human beings that I get to call family. Boy, I totally get it. I mean, I have felt all of those things. I've wanted to, all right, drop everything, go back to the familiarity of being a mom and a grandmother. And honestly, yes, I did feel a little guilty, like I should just be focusing on family. I always go back to just focusing on family. But here's what I realized after doing a few long walks by myself and a good conversation with my husband, the realization is this: I don't have to choose. I don't have to choose because number one, my grandson, he has loving, capable parents of his own. I'm not the parent. I am the grandparent. So I need to step into that role of being a devoted mom and grandmother and still chase my goals, still go after what I want. I feel like I can be a great grandmother and snuggle with him and love him and play with him and do all the cool things that grandparents get to do. But I also get to show up online and talk about biceps and macros and mindsets. And, I can hang out with him and then also build something of my own with my name on it. So I think mothering is my instinct, but going after shit is also my instinct. And I want to be able to do both. And I can do both because, frankly, I'm a woman and women can do absolutely anything, right? And I think the truth is this next chapter isn't about sacrificing everything that I want for the family. That doesn't need to be like that. I do tend to have an all or nothing attitude. I think I finally realized that I can love my family, I can show up for them, and I can still do what I love while prioritizing who I am, which is a person that goes after things. I truly believe that we can have, be, and do absolutely anything we want. All we have to do is go after it. I say that all the time, and here I was not listening to myself. That's crazy talk. Come on. So, to all the women that are listening, maybe you're a new grandmother, or maybe you're caring for aging parents, adult kids, kids going off to college, and you just feel like you're pulled in every direction because your heart is so big and full and you want to just take care of everyone in your life, I want you to hear this. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to love your family beyond measure and still carve out a life that is just for you. You're not being selfish. You're alive, for Pete's sakes. And this is your one shot at this chapter. So we got to take it. We got to embrace it and let it be amazing and full of contradictions, like a strength training, social media posting, podcasting, loving grandmother and mother that may or may not be me. Sign me up. I think that's what midlife is, though, right? We're not either or. We are both and. I'm a grandmother and I'm building a brand. I love my family and I still love myself enough to dream big and go after stuff. I am not letting this fall to the wayside. I tend to do that a lot in my life. I think it's really interesting to do a little bit of an audit on yourself if you can. I've done this recently and I actually have heard Jane Fonda speak about it, and I think it's such a cool concept. She does audits on her life and she always talks about different chapters of her life. And, when you go back and look at things, you will see patterns and how you have led your life. And I always tend to, I shouldn't say always. I was told by a therapist once never to say never and always, 2 words I just said. But I tend, I should say, to have an all or nothing approach and also tend to have a self-sabotaging approach. And in this instance, although the term self-sabotaging sounds very negative, I could have easily been like, all right, you know what? Forget it. I'm not doing the podcast anymore. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for training people, plus my own training, plus teaching classes, and also trying to build a brand and build an app. I don't have time for all this. I just want to be a grandmother and stay at home in my sweatpants. No, we're not doing that. We have come way too far, and we are women that can do absolutely anything. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do absolutely both things, and all the things, I should say. So if you're navigating a shift like this too in any way, I hope this episode gave you a little permission to stop choosing between, stop choosing either or, and just go for it all. We can do this. Sometimes we got to step back and take a little break, and then you go right back at it. That's what I always say too in workouts, when I'm teaching classes. If you need a break, you take it, and then you go right back and go after it. That's how you're going to get further. So I'm going to take my own advice. You can take my advice or you can leave it. But I thank you so much for being here today and listening. I think my podcast is also going to evolve, if I'm being honest. I have decided not to do the video portion. It's much easier for me to just come on here and talk into a microphone and upload little pep talks like this. So that's what this is going to be. If I decide to have guests here and there, they'll be here. But for now, midlife pep talks. That's what we got going on. Thank you for being here today with me. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, share with a friend. You guys, I cannot thank you enough for listening, and I will talk to you next time.